Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you've had an amazing holiday season with your family and friends, that Santa bought you all the foils that you wanted, and you've made some great plans for 2026. Now I'm stoked to be presenting today the UHA foils from Armstrong. UHA meaning ultra high aspect. Now the ultra high aspect UHA foils are geared towards established riders who are looking to get into parowing or downwind foiling. So for established parawingers or established downwinders, you'll appreciate the platform that the UHA foils provide to help you extend efficiency and glide in your runs, to create some stability in your ocean reed and how you can connect the bumps. It certainly takes your focus away from managing what's right in front of you to shift your gaze outwards and enjoy the run a bit more and choose better lines based on having more stability, glide and efficiency. Now for me, in my parawinging and downwinding, I've been using the HA foils to date. They've been great daily drivers for my prone foil, wing foil, downwind and parawing. What I found though is when I want to extend my runs, I need to increase the size of the HA foil, which is great. It achieves the goal of extending my run or improving my connect in conditions that are less favorable. But I lose a lot of the dynamic range in my run. And so while I can extend the run, it's not as fun. And I do enjoy that free ride feel, the flow, as well as the speed that the HAs offer. So I was super stoked when I got my first prototype of the UHA 870 back in March of 2025, just in time for the summer conditions here, which are small and not so powerful. Coupled with the parawing, I was able to go offshore 7 to 10 kilometers and have an excellent summer with runs up to 50 kilometers long, thanks to the extra glide and the efficiency of the UHA 870. The parawing gave me great access and I was able to paddle up as I would normally for downwinding. Previous years, I would only have done 2 or 5 kilometers struggling along the inside line, down waving or just running the coast. So the UHA unlocked almost 10 times the value of my summer downwind foiling. So as per usual, I'll offer myself as a datum just to help with how you could visualize what foil sizes you would choose from the UHA range. Now I'm 75 kilograms, I've been foiling nearly every day and I've really dedicated time to parawing and downwind foiling. Mostly downwind foiling, but using the parawing to access offshore. Now previously I was using the HA 780 as my go-to downwind foil for typical conditions between 15 and 20 knots. For prone I would use the HA 680, for wing the HA 680 and HA 580, and for parawing and downwind, I would shift between the HA 780 and the 880, depending on what conditions were on offer. For parawing in particular, I might step up to 880 if I'm using a same volume board where I use 75 litre board and just need a little bit of extra lift to compensate for the drop in volume. Since receiving the UHA foils, I've replaced the HA 780 with the UHA 670. So let's take a look at the comparison between the UHA 670 and the HA 580 so we can get a comparison of the offerings Armstrong have included in the UHA range. With the foils side by side, we can generally see that the similar chord and outline of the HA 580 with the span stretched out. But I can't emphasize enough that this is a general comparison. The UHA did begin as an HA foil with a stretched out span, but since Armstrong have incorporated every design aspect they've learnt from every iteration of foils that they've been developing to include in each current model that's being released. While at a glance we can see general similarities, in truth the profile is different, providing good low end stall speed for paddle ups, but also good top end speed. The foil is thinner, providing less drag and obviously becomes faster. The slight flaring here obviously adds low end stall speed and early lift, which is not present in the HA 580. I am able to paddle up the UHA 670. I've never been able to paddle up the HA 580. Sure, my skill set has improved over time, but it leads to the testimony that Armstrong have made progressive design additions to assist in the progression of my foiling. I don't believe stacking another 9 square centimeters of area to the HA 580 is suffice for me to paddle it up. The UHA brings smaller foil sizes closer to my ability, which has been a grind when I've only been using the HA foils. So how do they ride? Well, if you're familiar with the HA foils, you'll be stoked to hear that that same general ride feel is still there. You're just gaining efficiency and glide on top of the pitch stability. Obviously the stiffness of the foil and the great construction gives that roll stability as well. A welcome familiarity I was stoked to have under my feet. The low stall speed is also welcomed. It allows me to adjust the rhythm of my runs. I have sections of my run where the upwind current compresses and I'm able to just slow down a bit and do more weaving turns rather than trying to race and match swell speed. Now I currently have the UHA 570, 670 and 770. The 770 has replaced my 870 as my light wind, flat, high tide conditions for runs. The UHA 670, as I mentioned, is my go-to now for 15 to 20 knot conditions. And the UHA 570, I've paddled up in a few occurrences, but we're still waiting for that full-blown winter conditions to kick in for me to get full use out of it. But I would use that in over 20 knot conditions. For light wind wing foiling, I would use the 570 or the 670. The wing offers a stable power source, which means you can drop a size. For para-wing, just being a little softer as a source of power, with the wing not having the rigidity like in wing foiling, I would stick with the same size I would use for downwind, which is the 670 or the 770. And also for para-wing, I would step up one size again to the 770 if I'm using matched volume board. Let me know if you have any questions regarding matching a UHA with your preferred genre, weight and skill set. Only happy to help you out. So in summary, the UHA are geared towards established foilers looking to expand into para-winging or downwinding, or if you're already established in those genres, just to extend your runs and create a stable platform to improve your read of the ocean and connect those bumps. Downwind foilers and para-wing foilers will get the most out of this range. Established wing foilers will also enjoy the UHA for light wing foiling, adding some dynamic fun to modest conditions. If you're familiar with the HA foils, you're going to enjoy the UHA offerings. There are 7 sizes ranging from 570 up to 1270 and all share an aspect ratio of 12.6. The real question is not whether you will get the UHA, it will be what sizes best suit your game. So go ahead and fire me any questions that you have regarding, only too happy to assist. You guys are going to love these foils. Happy New Year and have fun out there.